Hey guys, it's Nick from Pick'em MMA and I'm back with another video here. And this video I will be talking about the best underdog plays on the Rozenstruik versus Almeida card. I had the best underdogs, the lock of the week, the over and under bets for this card, and then the safety money line, and then the long shot parlay, guys. So let's talk about the first for the best underdogs on this card. So I know that Jonathan Almeida is a big favorite on this card, and his game is he does take his opponents down, and then finishes the fights by either by submission or by ground and pound. He hasn't lost in the UFC yet. That is why he's a big minus 550 or 600 favorite at the moment. And he is gonna go up against the big Jorginho Rozenstruik. This guy's kickboxing is pretty up there in heavyweight. And if he's not able to take down Jorginho Rozenstruik to the ground, I do feel like he's gonna be in big trouble. And that win against Samuel Abdulrakimov, did have a hard time taking him down for a couple of minutes, and he did eat a big right hand from Samuel in that fight. If you go watch that fight back, you will see that Abdulrakimov did land some good power punches, and until before he got taken down and then just got ground and pounded. So that is why I think if you are gonna be sprinkling something on Jorginho Rozenstruik, do it by money line. I don't see this fight going over 2 rounds, and I just don't see Jorginho winning any other way other than knockout. Let's move to the next. The next underdog most likely to win. And the next underdog is Anthony Lionheart Smith, guys. I do think he does have a pretty good chance to win this fight. I mean, his fight IQ is pretty up there. His last loss was against Magomed Ankalaev, in which he injured his knee and then got ground and pounded. He does have a really good wins over some really good competition. Got a submission win over Ryan Spann. Before that, knockout over Jimmy Crute. And then a submission win over Devin Clark. Lost to Alexander Rockets. I mean, so he's only losing to the best of the best at 205. Which is why I think he's a pretty good play here. Anthony Lionheart Smith by moneyline is definitely worth the sprinkle. Alright guys, let's move to the next underdog most likely to win. Is Daniel D. Rodriguez, guys. The reason I think Daniel Rodriguez has a good chance to win this fight is because Ian Machado Gary does leave his chin up high. He did get dropped by Kenan Song, and he was able to recover, but I feel like Daniel is a pretty good technical striker. Does have a pretty good ground game also. I know he got submitted by Neil Magny, but Neil Magny is a veteran of the sport. I mean, Neil Magny has I think he's got the most wins in at welterweight. So I mean, I'm not really gonna hold that win against him. I lost against him too much. So I think Daniel Rodriguez. Before that, he got a win over Li Jingliang by split decision. So that's why I think Daniel Rodriguez by knockout. It's very unlikely, but it could happen. But I did pick Ian Gary to win this fight, but I do think the bookies need to put some more respect on Daniel Rodriguez's name. He is a pretty good sprinkle here. Anyways, guys, let's move to the next underdog on the card. Is Daniel? No, we already talked about that. De Silva de Andrade. Let's talk about De Silva de Andrade, guys. De Silva de Andrade this guy is a powerhouse, and Cody Stamen does get lazy with his footwork, and he does sometimes gets a little bit tired. So if he's not able to take down De Silva in the first round, I feel like Cody Stamen could get caught by one of those power strikes by De Andrade. The lines is pretty close. That's why it's close. Cause Douglas De Silva, even though he's almost 38 years old, he could win this fight by knockout. So if you are gonna be sprinkling on De Silva, the Andrade, take him by knockout or by finish. Let's move to the next underdog on the card, which is Matt Brown, guys. Matt Brown versus Court McGee. He is a slight underdog in this fight, and since Court McGee is coming off a brutal knockout loss in which he got slapped by Jeremiah Wells, that left hook, he just didn't see it coming. And Matt Brown is very scrappy. I mean, even though he's 42 and a half years old almost, he is really scrappy and very durable. In that fight against Brian Barberena, I mean, he really showed his toughness and took Brian Barberena to a split decision. He landed a lot of his own strikes in that fight. I did think he was gonna retire in that fight, but he's back, guys. And Court McGee, we don't know how he's gonna look coming back after a knockout loss like that. So I think Matt Brown has like a 75% knockout percentage in the UFC. So I think Matt Brown by knockout is a really good play here. Let's look at the next underdog, which I think could win this fight, guys. The next underdog is Angela Hill versus Mackenzie Dern. I did pick Mackenzie Dern to win this fight, but I'm not too confident because Angela is really scrappy. I mean, if she's able to defend some takedowns in this fight, keep this on the feet, she does land a lot more volume. She does have pretty good cardio also, and she has turned a corner in her last two fights. Got a really good win over Lupita Godinez, in which she was a big underdog, like a plus 300 underdog, I think. And then she got a unanimous decision win over Emily Ducote. Emily Ducote just got a win like a month ago. So I mean, that's a really two good wins to have. She has turned the corner. That's why I think this fight is going to be very competitive, and it is going to go to decision. And Angela Hill does have a lot of experience in the UFC at the highest level, so I think Angela Hill by decision is worth a sprinkle, guys. Let's look at the last underdog on this card, which is Tenara Lisboa. See, this is her UFC debut, guys, so I don't know how she's gonna look. I really haven't seen her previous fights, but she is gonna be taking Jessica Rose Clark. Jessica Rose Clark has looked terrible. She got submitted by Stephanie Egger, and Stephanie Egger just got submitted by the Russian Ronda in the first round. And after that, she got submitted again by Julia Stoliarenko. So I mean, she gets submitted a lot. I mean, so I think Jessica Rose Clark is a slight favorite in this fight, but I do think this girl, she's very scrappy. I mean, she's getting finishes in the regional scene. She's only lost by decision to some Santos girl. She's got 4 wins in her last 5 fights. I know the competition isn't really high, but I do think she can make this fight competitive and maybe edge out a decision. I'm not too confident on this underdog, which is why I have her at the last place. But anyways, guys, that's the best underdogs on the card. Let's move to the lock of the card, which is in this fight, which is Carlos Oberg versus Ihor Potieria. Guys, the lock of the card for me is Carlos Black Jag Oberg. He is gonna knock Ihor Potieria out cold in the first or second round. I'm very confident on this pick, guys, and so is everyone else. Look, everyone's picked him. 91% people picked him by knockout. And Ihor is the type of guy that brawls, and I don't think it's gonna end up too good for him here. And UFC is trying to build up Carlos Oberg hence that's why they put up this fight. And Carlos Oberg training at Kick City Kickboxing with Israel Adesanya, Alexander Volkanovski. I mean, his IQ is definitely up there. And Ihor doesn't really have any wrestling, or he's not really that super powerful striker. That's why I think Carlos is gonna set up his striking. He's the more technical striker here. So that's my lock of the fight, guys. Lock of the card, I mean. Let's move to the over and under bets on this card, guys. The over and under for the first fight is Gabe Green versus Brian Battle, guys. I definitely see this fight going over 1.5 rounds. I think this fight does go to decision, but I'm gonna just pick over 1.5 rounds, guys. Let's go to the next over and under fight, which is for the heavyweight fight, Carl Williams versus Chase Sherman. I do see this fight going all 3 rounds maybe, because Williams hasn't really finished anyone in the UFC yet. Neither has he finished anyone at PFL. That's why I think this fight's gonna go over 1.5 rounds, guys. Let's go to the next over and under, which is the main event. I don't see this fight going over 2.5 rounds, guys. If Almeida does win, which is very likely, he is gonna finish the fight under 2.5 rounds, guys. So that's the most confident bet that I have on this fight. Under 2.5 rounds. Maybe even under 1.5. But Rozenstruik is not just gonna give up that easy. So I would just take under 2.5 rounds, guys. Let's go to the next over and under, which is Ji-Yeon Kim versus Mandy Bohm. Both of these girls, they're mostly winning by decision, and Kim is the moderate favorite in this fight. And if she does win, she's gonna win by decision. She does have 2 knockout wins and 3 submission wins. She is 3-6 in the UFC, and most of her wins in the UFC, she got a knockout over Nadia Kassem in the 2nd round. So I mean, I don't see this fight being finished in the first round. So just take over. I did write over 2.5 rounds. I would say just take yeah, I'm gonna go with over 2.5 rounds. I don't see Kim finishing her. Mandy is losing by unanimous decision, so she's very durable. She's lost to the better fighter Ariane Lipsky by decision, and then to Victoria Leonardo by decision. So if she does lose this fight, it's gonna be by decision. So over 2.5 rounds, guys. Alright, guys, let's move to the next parlays. My safety parlay. Sorry, guys. My safety parlay, which is Nathan Levy, Carlos Oberg, and Carl Williams, guys. That's my safety parlay, guys. My long shot parlay, which is Brian Battle. He's an underdog in this fight, slight underdog, but I do feel like he's gonna have more tools to win this fight against Gabe Green. Ryan Battle does land a lot more volume. Is the better wrestler in this fight, I think. That's why I have him as my first leg on the long shot parlay. And then I have Alex Morono. Where is he? There he is. Alex Morono. He does have really good wins over really good fighters. He's the favorite in this fighter. He's only got in his last 5 fights, he's 11-5 in the UFC, so I'm very confident on him. And for the last leg of my parlay, for the long shot parlay, I have Jorginho Rozenstruik, Biggie Boy. Biggie Boy is 7-4 in the UFC. I know he's going up against a Jonathan Almeida, who is undefeated in the UFC right now. Really good wrestling. This is why I have Rozenstruik as in the long shot parlay. If Almeida cannot take him down in the first 2 rounds, I do see Rozenstruik knocking him out cold, guys. And Almeida did get hurt by Samil Abdulrakimov in that first round. Abdulrakimov landed that big right hand on him. That's why I feel like Biggie Boy, being the better kickboxer, can definitely give him some problems, guys. So that's it for this card, guys. Once the props drop, I might drop some more parlays and some more content. Please hit the like button. Let me know how you feel about these picks. Leave a comment below. Please hit the subscribe button. It really motivates me to make more content when I see people subscribing and leaving a comment. Really makes me happy, guys. Thank you for checking my video out, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a really good week. Take care of yourself, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the fights. Take care. See you guys next time.